Hi, welcome to this edition of Tiger Broadcast. I'm Cameron Brigham.
And I'm Gavin Curlis. On this edition of Tiger Broadcast, we take you to the Olympics.
And give you the rundown on a new class at LSHS.
All this and more on this edition of Tiger Broadcast.
It's no secret that LSHS is full of gifted students. But last semester ended on a high note for these two LSHS musicians. Erica Milligan and Jacqueline Berry share their story.
I started playing in 4th grade when I was 9 or so.
The reason why I got into music was actually because of one of my friends. His name is Spencer Kelly Wright, and it's just, I've moved on from there. I've worked as hard as I can to get here.
I practice once a day. It just depends on how much time during the day that I have.
On average, a week I spend about 4 to 5 hours practicing music.
Robert and Carly's hard work paid off in the best way possible. After being one of the 200 high school all-district students to audition, they were 2 of the 40 students to make the top orchestra in the state.
Just kind of with everything, there's always seniors or upperclassmen that you look up to. And so for me, it was just really nice to be able to have that piece of recognition that I've always looked up to.
My freshman year, I just thought it was because it was a fun thing. And then I got there and it was extremely hard and I was scared for my life. Now I mostly do it for college, so put it on my college resume, because it is a highly regarded thing to see that you're one of the best people in your state.
I really care about the history of our school, and my school pride comes from music people and music experiences. For me, it was just something that I'd always known was a big deal and was really hard to do.
After hours and hours of practice, Carly and Robert will have the recognition that they deserve. But a plaque with their name and a congratulations isn't the end of their rewards.
We go to Tantera in Osage Beach, Missouri, and we perform at the Moasta Association's big convention. It's the entire state. We play extremely hard music.
During the audition, Carly and Robert played by themselves, but without the assistance of one specific person, they would not be where they are today.
My private lessons teacher, Maria Maxwell, has been just the best thing that I could have ever asked for without even knowing it, because she's so inspirational.
She pushed me to my limits and over the limit sometimes.
She genuinely cares about people succeeding and about people caring about the music part of it. She's very good at making people feel inspired or feel like this is something that they can do. She's very much so you can do it and I want to help you do it.
She's definitely one of my, I would consider her as family, in all honesty.
Carly may be a senior, but high school all-state orchestra is only the beginning for her career in music.
I am planning to go to UMKC, and I'm planning to major in music and hopefully performance. I would like to play forever. It's just something that I really love.
Clearly, Carly and Robert have many notes in their future. Signing off for Tiger Broadcast, this is Jacqueline Berry.
Recently, LSHS held their own type of Olympics, but with an artistic twist. Jared Newell, Lauren Legan, and Hunter Weekly paint a picture with this next story.
Life without art is really boring, and at night, whenever I have nothing to do, I'd rather stay home and paint or do something than go out sometimes. And the time spent here has been more enjoyable than almost anything, so it's one of my best high school memories.
Throughout Ronnie's career, one piece of art has stuck with her the most.
My favorite painting so far has been the last one I did, which was Portrait of Susan Flower. I pretty much just watered down paint and let it all drip and mix however the water wanted it to.
Ronnie's inspiration for this piece, Susan Flower, has also made her mark on the art department, but in a different way.
I really like clay. I love making things with my hands. A paintbrush is cool, and I do paint a lot, but I love making things with my hands. So Lee Summit High School has definitely giving me the tools for starting my future career in ceramics.
Susan, along with other artists, were able to further grow their skills in the very first Art Olympics held this year.
It's where any art student here at Lee Summit High School can sign up for any category they want. There's painting, drawing, figure and still life, and ceramic hand building and graphic design. And we just came here and had an hour and a half to complete a task that they told us once we got here. And then judges came in and picked the top 3 for each category.
They have an hour to just go and make a piece of art. It's something completely done on their own creative terms and guided by themselves.
All of the opportunities in the art department have helped students to find their passion and future jobs.
This was accepted at KCAI, the Kansas City Art Institute. I'm very excited to go there. I want to major in ceramics.
Well, next year I'm going to major in art and psychology, so I want to be an art therapist, so I'll use my love of art to help other people get through their problems.
Art is a way to communicate. It's a way to show your ideas, your emotions. It's important to me because it's a part of our world and can show so much to the world about the world around everyone.
So it's no surprise that art has left a lasting impact on Ronnie's life.
For taking art, I realized that it's really important because now when I'm out doing things besides my own painting, I realize art in a lot of things. And so now I have a higher appreciation for things that humans do in all parts of their life and not just what I do.
Reporting for Tiger Broadcast, this is Jared Newell.
LSHS is known for having a wide variety of classes, but this one is one for the books. Gavin Curlis and Madeline Stouffer, fill us in.
It came from a collaboration group about 5 or 6 years ago. You know, a lot of kids like sports.
The sports history class is actually a social studies topics course that can be adapted from year to year to a given topic.
But here's a chance, like during the school day in a history class, to talk about something that, you know, is a big part of a lot of kids' lives.
It's like a lot of people just think the class is sports, like, oh, we're going to go to class, watch ESPN, we're going to learn about like all the different types of sports. No, it's history and sports.
Lee Summit High School history teacher Allison Black has put her passion into creating a class that is dynamic and unique. Such uniqueness, however, is typically coupled with some obstacles.
It was a challenge to get this class approved, so it was a long process.
And one thing that students maybe don't realize is how much behind the scenes work actually goes into getting a new course approved, and the curriculum revision and all of the common assessments that teachers put into the front end of that before we ever offer a class to students.
I'm making a lot of what we do, so it's just been a lot of prep work, you know, getting materials, finding sources throughout the semester.
When we could be doing other things, there's always parents to email, there's always papers to grade and lessons to plan, and just finding those little bits of time to also work on this other project that had already been shot down once or twice, and really saying, okay, we believe this can happen, there's some good reasons we're going to make it happen.
And then the second challenge, I think, is just like setting a culture in the class. I want to work. I don't want to do anything crazy, but I want to talk about sports and I want to do work. I want to have discussions. I want to write. I want kids to actually be working in the class towards these goals.
I love it because it's not like your normal class. It's a break in my day, which I still get to learn. It's just interesting to learn about. So she's so dedicated to what she does, and she makes it a lot of fun, and she's passionate about it, and it's great.
I always tell my American history kids, we take American history because it's like an egg. It binds us together. And in sports, this is exactly the same way, right? It provides like this cultural literacy and cultural knowledge that kind of binds us together as Americans.
Reporting for Tiger Broadcast.
I was sitting here, I was like, oh, there's a cookie in my shirt.
This is Madeline Stouffer.
In today's society, distracted driving is more common than ever. Cameron Brigham and Prosperity Roddy show you the true consequences of not paying attention.
It will take an average of 3 seconds after a driver's mind is taken off the road to get into an accident, which is the same amount of time it takes to start the ignition of a car.
We never put down our phones. We always, if we hear like our phone ring, we just pick it up immediately. We don't ignore it.
A lot of times just thinking about things that aren't the road, sometimes I'll just be driving and be like, and just completely space out.
Many teens know the dangers of texting and driving. However, as young adults, we often take for granted the simple things that can be devastating when they are taken away.
The fact that you're so young and you have your whole life ahead of you. Nothing bad has happened to you yet.
When you're driving, it's supposed to be that you're supposed to focus on that one thing.
Like, it's just part of our culture, which is on our phones a lot, and so we're just used to, whenever we get a notification, to just respond right away.
I know it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, and it didn't to me.
Shelby Fugate was a teenager, like the students at Leaks Mount High School, but at 20 years old, she pulled out into oncoming traffic on 50 Highway, which led her to a spinal cord injury, leaving her paralyzed from the waist down.
My biggest struggle after the accident was definitely, I think, rehab, learning how to live my life in a wheelchair. It's definitely made things a lot harder. I'm not going to say my life sucks. Not being able to walk kind of does. I'm still living my life.
Driving while distracted might not always seem like a big deal, but we have to remember it not only puts your life in danger, but also the people around you.
It's horrible, it's stupid, and I think they know that they shouldn't do it, but they still make the decision to do it.
People get bored of driving, honestly. Like, whenever you're driving on a highway, things where you're like, oh, I can do this while I'm driving. It's kind of a challenge to yourself almost.
My main message when I talk to students, especially, is that I don't want something like this to happen to anyone.
Though distracted driving has increased, these young teens hope that someday distracted driving will be a thing of the past.
I really do hope that people will start to, put the phone away, put it in the glove box or something.
Teen drivers are always notorious for being the ones who are distracted. So I'm hoping that our generation kind of becomes the ones that are like, you know what, I'm tired of people dying, and we change that.
As you can see, distracted driving is a big issue in our society. But as the young adults in this country, we can change that. Reporting for Tiger Broadcast, I'm Cameron Brigham.
Thanks for watching this edition of Tiger Broadcast.
For packages, short films, and more, go to www.tigerbroadcast.com.
Or follow us at TBTV8 Tigers.
Once again, I'm Cameron Brigham.
And I'm Gavin Curlis.
Thanks for watching.
Art is a way to communicate. It's a way to show your ideas.
It's definitely like one of I would consider as family.
Cultural knowledge that kind of binds us together as Americans.